Prashant Aswani here. I'm going to show you my approach to soloing over rock ballads. So in this first song, we have, actually I should say in this first progression, we have a major style progression in D, and it goes to an E with the D in the bass. So you have a constant root with the D. There's a few different approaches for this. The chords do actually really matter. And also it's because I go for target notes, especially with slower tempos that exist in a ballad form. So it's really important to kind of have your target notes and create some thematic phrases that can land on the right target note in the right time. What is a target note? Well, a target note is typically some type of chord tone. Now, in this progression, we're playing triads, right? We're playing D major and E major with the D in the bass, which leaves a lot of room for cool tensions, but also, you know, in a triad, you've got root, third, and fifth, right? Root, major, third, and fifth. So the progression, D for one measure, and then D with an E, D in the E with the D in the bass for the second measure, right? And that repeats for 4 measures. And for what I decided to start with was be on the lower register and start on the major third, which is the F sharp. And what I did was I superimposed a F sharp minor 7 arpeggio, right? Which works perfectly in terms of like being in the key, but it also gives you some intervallic kind of vibe. So once again, the first phrase. And then I resolved on the 9, the major 9, which isn't existing in the chord itself because it's a triad, but it's a very pleasurable to listen to tension, as you guys can hear in the solo. So then what I do is that I go back for the second time of the chord. When it goes back to D, I go back to the major third, and I create another phrase that is similar in rhythmic content to that original phrase. So it starts like this with the F sharp. And then again, I keep the same target note motif where I start the phrase on the D with the major third and I resolve on the 9. But in between, I create some different phrases that are definitive melodic phrases that I can go into my resolved note, my resolved target note. So I want to re-emphasize that having target notes and understanding the progression, particularly with slower tempo music, is really important. And I find that if I don't have some sort of basic theoretical consideration to my approach, oftentimes if I'm improvising, you know, even at, you know, my experience level, I can sound like I'm meandering a bit, right? And that's because the tempo is super slow, right? It doesn't, the song doesn't carry you, you know, away from meandering, right? And so it's important to have these target notes for me then to improvise in between, right? And that's basically how I approach any given solo, even when recorded, and once I record a solo, if I improvise it, I can relearn it as composed, right? So again, here's that first 4 measures. Okay, so take those target notes with the major third and the 9 and apply them, and then maybe learn what I've shown you. And then in between those target notes, I would encourage you guys to come up with your own melodic phrases that sound really good to you, so that you can kind of develop your own strategy with creating rock ballad solos. So coming up, we're going to go through the A section one more time with the second half, and I'll show you what I'm doing through that section.